Okay, so back on the bench again today. We started out by putting, or the last time we were on the bench, we put on the engine, transmission, or no, and axles. Today we're going to put on the sway bars on the front of the monster truck slash mega truck, which is what we're making. And we need the parts tree AX31113, and there's a metal torsion bar. Here it is, metal torsion bar, and this put on the front. Okay, so we'll take the torsion bar and bag eye with the screws. Okay, so we also need some of these shock ends. Bushings, I should say, for the torsion bars. We need 4 of them. Okay, so we start with these two bars here. And we'll put the bushings in. Okay, we got a steel bar here, and we need these 2 pieces brackets to hold the bar. And then we need interesting, they give us 4 of these, 2 different lengths to go on the end of the torsion bar, the actual metal bar itself. And I would have to assume that you can adjust this a little bit with the short and long depending on how much you want, because right now we got to do something with it, because if you let this stretch all the way out, the shock cups down here basically leave the spring. So I am going to start out with the short ones and see how that works. Again, if you want to later, you can change it to the long ones, depending on how far you want it to drop, I guess. All right. So these just basically screw onto the end of the sway bar. I keep calling it a torsion bar. I think it's actually a sway bar. Okay. Next we place these here and use an AXA16. Those screws are not in that bag. Keep all the extra parts in this container, and it looks to me like those two screws were actually in a different bag. Which bag? I don't remember. Alright, so this is a tight fit. I'm still not getting it inside that bushing. This is a problem with these bushings sometimes. If you don't get them lined up exactly correct and you start screwing it in, it'll just push the bushing with the screw. It's not going through the bushing. And I don't know if that's, I think it's kind of like a design flaw in my opinion. One of these holes should not have any threads, because when you're trying to thread it through to make it fit the bushing, it doesn't exactly line up, and you've got to thread it in. You can't just push it in through the hole in the bushing. You have to actually thread it through the first hole, then through the bushing, then through the second hole. And I'm having trouble with it getting it lined up. And I'm still having trouble. It's almost like these bushings are too big. I don't think there's any others size bushings. I mean, there's bigger ones. They won't fit in the I mean, they're not too big, and the fact that they're too big for the holes are too long. They don't fit in the bracket very well. And the other ones I think are too big. See, they are wider than the actual bracket. Now these bigger ones, I don't think they'll fit in the hole, to be honest with you. They say they come off of the AX13. Oh, okay. Two of them are actually on the AX13. They're much different and smaller than the ones I put in there. The ones that go into shocks are different. If you look at these, this little thing here has got a different shape to it, and it's shorter. Pay attention to the instructions, and you'll find that it tells you that they're on this tree. So I basically put the wrong ones in, and they didn't fit, so luckily we figured that out. Now to get the other ones out. Alright, so these little bushings are completely different, and that will make life a whole lot simpler. Alrighty then. Let's try this again. Still got to get them lined up though, to get that screw through the bushing, but much better. Much better. Okay, got those on. Now it says to snake it through the chassis. Doesn't say snake, but from the picture, you have to snake it through the chassis through. These are not. This does not go on the front. This goes on the rear. My mistake there when I'm talking about the front. Man, you're going to need one on the front though. Something's got to keep those springs from going that far. Okay, so this goes in the rear. Holy smokes. And it says to thread it through. I'm saying snake it through this part of the chassis. In front of the battery tray. And I guess you can. I don't know. Yeah, that's easier said than done with the battery tray in there. Holy smokes, guys. That's a ridiculous. Alright, I'm going to see if I can get this through there. Alright, now I'm totally confused. I got it through there. And it shows it all the way back. And how in the heck do you get it all the way back there with the battery tray in the way? You don't. You actually have to take out it looks like you have to take out the battery tray. This is a very, very crazy looking picture. You look at this picture, it looks like a jumbled mess of who knows what. Look at this. And it might making it easy for you to put this in here. As a matter of fact, it don't even make any sense. And now I have to find another part that's on another tree. Here. We need 4 of those off of tree 3135-2. Number 4. A number 4 and a number 3. It says, I don't get this. There's someplace on the chassis, way back here. So, Me and my infinite wisdom, if you look at this picture, when they show you snaking it through, they show you snaking it through here, or what looks like here, but it's not. It's way over here. So, man, that picture's confusing. Now I gotta get this bar out of here. Alright, we got it out. So it goes through here. Sure. Much easier. Well, no, not really. If this was a steel frame, or a tubular frame made out of metal, this would be impossible. Okay, now we got it through. It goes through this here area right here. My goodness, guys. What a crazy deal that is. And then the bar sits in this groove, and that's bolted onto the chassis. Just figure out which one goes where. There's two different ones. There's a number 4 and a number 3 on the tree, and it says to use the number 4. I don't know what the number 3 ones are for. They're for the rear. I almost believe that you can actually put, or not, for the front. It's like you can put torsion bars on the front, but they didn't give you one. They got the same setup in the front. Why the heck? They got the same setup in the front for torsion bars, but I mean sway bars. I keep saying torsion bars. It's a sway bar. But they don't give you a sway bar for the front. And the front acts like it needs a sway bar. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'll figure that out later. It doesn't come with one, so. Somehow we gotta get this bolted in here. Just figure out which one of these goes where. That one definitely don't go there. Very, very confusing. It's a weird picture. The weird deal. This is getting to be a little more complicated than I thought it would be. I'm going to let you relax a minute while I try to figure this out. Okay, so it goes in. I beg to differ with their picture. But it doesn't want to go in the way they show it. Unless I'm doing something wrong. Okay. I'm assuming there's 4 of these. There are a few mistakes in this introduction. It says number 4s and then number 3. Okay, so a number 3 goes in this way. So you got to have a number 3 and a number 4. The number 3 goes on the right side. Okay, I got it. Now all I got to do is find the right screws. And they are 2 different screws. A 4, 6, 7. And a 4, 6, 5. 4, 6, 7 is the longer of the screws. The 4, 6, 5 is the shorter. Okay, so 465. It's almost like this was an afterthought. And the picture they put in here is so flippin' confusing. Of course, I probably said that 6 times. Okay. So the short screw, according to this, goes toward the axle. Okay, this should have taken all of... Well, that screw's not going to work. That is not a long screw. What am I doing? Okay. So now we're at a point where we don't have the right screws. Okay, guys, this is kind of ridiculous. So they were in a different bag because they were in my little leftover parts bag. A little leftover parts jar. Okay. Now, again, it looks to me like they gave you all the parts, or some parts, for a front sway bar, but they did not give you the sway bar. This is kind of interesting. Good. So we got half the parts to actually put in a front sway bar. But they didn't give you the screws for it. I put a screw in a place I didn't have to. It's kind of weird. Okay. Now to find the right one for this. Okay, guys, this is not fun. Here I thought this was only going to take a few minutes. This will be a whole video to itself. Sway bars. I don't know how many times I might have called them torsion bars, which they're not. They're sway bars. Sway bars, sway bars, sway bars. So this is a sway bar installation, and this sway bar installation is, to me, it's confusing. I'm not going to say it's going to be confusing to everybody, but man. Okay, so yeah, this has been one heck of a mess to me. Alright, the last thing we have to do is put these to the axle, and we will be finished with the sway bars. AX 117. Again, these parts, I opened up this bag at the very beginning. I don't think I needed them. I didn't need to open it. some long screws. All right, that's one side. Okay. Rear torsion bars. Torsion bars. There I go again. Rear sway bar. Now again, it's interesting that they give you half the parts to put on a front one. They got a place to mount it. They give you the brackets that go on the frame. And there was something else came when I was looking at it. Where the heck do those parts go? Anyway, yeah, here it is. They give you the brackets for the frame, but they don't give you anything else. It's kind of weird. And there's, like I said, there's a place for it to hook here. There's a place for it to hook here. I'm going to see if I can find some more for this. I'm going to put some in the front too. But maybe, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's because you lose all your flex. But if I am going to use this as the way it is, these springs keep popping out of their cup. I don't know why. So I probably strap the front of this down. We'll work on that later. Okay, so the next part is the interior. They give you an interior and some stickers, and we'll work on that next time. We're going to paint it, put the stickers on, put the interior in, and then we can put the rest of the roll cage on top, which will sturdy this up. And then we will be ready for tires. Alright, y'all have a nice day. We'll get back with this again, and we'll get to start making it look like an actual mud truck. We're going to do our own little creative stuff from this point forward.